Hey, 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 you beautiful twin flames, and welcome back to Tarot for You 444. Today I've got a cool concept video actually, which is related to twin flames and soulmates. And I have Donkey here with me. He's going to oversee everything, and Barnacles and Star are here too. I've actually changed my room around because I feel that there's been a really big shift in the collective, and the masculines are going to be turning back around. If your masculine has been in separation with you, I feel between now and Christmas time, they are going to change their tune. They're going to be singing your praises in a big way. So, the first point of business is that I want to talk about my new course, my up and coming course, which is called Understanding Men. And many of my viewers I know are female, and some are male. And thank you so much for following me. I want to also bring into the mix the importance of understanding the gender roles, the main two gender roles that I work with closely, being men and women. I know there are other people that identify with different genders, but in general, understanding men on the twin flame journey is a massive, or on a soulmate journey is a really massive step. And when you know how most men tick and how they think and why they behave the way they do, then you can start to understand why there's such a disconnect between the sexes, between the two major sexes, being men and women. So thank you for being here. Today I want to talk about how most men, not all men, most men are more logical and simple, and how women are more emotional and more complicated. And I don't mean those as put downs in any kind of way. It just is the way it is. And I've worked with lot of people now, because I've got counselling services as well now, and I'm really seeing the disconnect between men and women in general. And I really feel that this course is going to help my viewers, whether they're in a twin flame or soulmate relationship. Okay. So this is something I prepared a little earlier. Men are more logical and simple, and women are more emotional and complicated. Of course we are. All the men watching today going, yes they are. And all the women are going, no, we're not. So what I want to delve into in this particular session today, or this concept video, is the why of that, and understanding that this disconnect between the sexes is occurring because of this simple misunderstanding that begins with the way men are and the way women are. And this is where the disconnect or the duality can come into many, many relationships, even with colleagues at work, and even with family members. In fact, Donkey and I both know that not understanding the other sex, whatever you are, can cause confusion, can cause disorientation, and even major breakdowns in your life, mental breakdowns, or emotional breakdowns being one of the major things that can happen. So let's first of all go into, before I continue about men and women being a little bit different in this way, I want to just say that, of course, we do have females and males who have traits of the other gender. So we do have logical and simple women, and we do have emotional and complicated men, or a mix of both. But generally speaking, if we can understand the concept of how different this is and why we've got a little bit of a disconnect going on, then it's going to help you. So even if you know a man in your life that seems to have more feminine traits, it will still help you anyway, because then you'll be able to realize that you're not dealing with the what's the word I want to say, the norm. Okay, the norm, what we could consider to be normal. So I'm not on camera today because I've got my dressing gown on. I just got out of the bath. No one wants to see that. My hair's still drying, so I thought I'd just come on and do this video because I wanted to talk about my Understanding Men course, and I also wanted to give you a little bit of tidbit information that may help you. Okay, so we've said men are more logical and simple. But what do we mean by that? Men, oh men, oh men, seem to be this magical mystery, don't they? There's a mystery. There's one little puzzle piece to men, okay? And then we're going to add these two here. But look how many curves are in the puzzle. Logical and simple are men. So when we say logical, we might think of words like these. We might think of analytical. We might think of, what's another word that would mean logical? I don't know. Maybe scientific would be a great word. And the other one, which no one's going to see coming, is this last one. So when we're talking about logical, we're talking about someone who analyzes things. We're talking about someone who may take a scientific approach to things. And we're also talking about someone who has the opposite of, who is the opposite of being emotional. Okay, which is a really unusual thought for a woman, because usually a woman bases everything on her emotions. So this one is really key here. The opposite of being emotional, like we can understand that a man might be analytical. So, you know, he might analyze something before he does it. So if he goes into a shop to buy, you know, some car parts, he might analyze something. He might say, well, you know, that brand might be a bit more expensive than that one. But I can see that I should pay more for that because of the quality of the item, let's say. So that's being analytical. Scientific is where he might say, well, based on scientific evidence, you know, it's been shown that it's better for my health if I walk as opposed to running, because, you know, the 2020 book of book of health stated that, you know, in the studies they did, the people that walked were more healthy than runners or something like that. So they like science-based things, which is a very logical or analytical approach. The next thing is, and the major point I want to make here, is the opposite of emotional. Logical is the opposite of emotional. So if we think about Spock in Star Trek, he was always without emotion. Well, I don't know. I think maybe he had emotion one time, but I think that was by accident or something. But so if we think of, you know, in Star Trek how Spock is not emotional, I'm not saying men are completely devoid of emotions. Of course they're not. But their logical part of the brain that they use most times is logical, which means they don't buy into emotions. So when I say they don't buy into emotions, I mean that they don't trust emotions. Okay? Emotions to most men are kind of a thing that gets in the way. So they kind of don't understand why women get emotional about things, because why would you waste your time crying over, you know, something that they might think is unimportant, let's say. So, you know, some women go, oh my goodness, I can't believe that, you know, my favorite character is not in my favorite TV show anymore. And the man will kind of be looking at them going, oh my goodness, like it's only a movie. What do you mean? Right? So this is part of the logicalness, my new word for the day, logicalness of men. So they're also very simple, and simple is great because this helps women understand that in terms of getting to where they want to go, right? They're very simple. 1 + 1 = 2, okay? So if I'm hungry and I want to eat tacos, I will go to the shop and buy the ingredients for tacos and cook the tacos and eat them. Or I'll, you know, get takeaway or something like that, right? So they're very simple. It doesn't mean they can't do complex tasks, but they break them down into, you know, I'm tired now, I'm going to go to bed. I'm hungry now, I'm going to eat. So we could kind of call it the caveman style here, which is great because if only women could do this and say, I'm so tired, and actually go to bed, or I'm so exhausted and actually take a rest. You know what I mean? So women might complain about these things, whereas men will act upon their needs. So that's another thing, acting upon their needs, okay? So in terms of someone not getting back to you immediately via text, or someone not, you know, answering a massive question that you've got for them. If they're a man, they might like to take their time and do it properly in a sequential way. So we could also call it sequential and simple at the same time. They like to do things in sequences. You know, 1 + 1 = 2. If my car tire is flat, I will go and get a new tire. It's very simple. Now, women, on the other hand, let's just go for a minute. I've done this in one of my other videos in my Understanding Men and Women series. Let's just start with women. Let's just draw the puzzle piece. Don't get mad at me in the comments section. Okay, so emotional and complicated. Okay, these are the two words after doing about a decade of study on men and women. This is what it boils down to. So women are emotional and complicated, which means they don't necessarily think with their head. They kind of think with their feelings, which means they attach outcomes to things. Okay. So when something doesn't go their way, perhaps, when they lose control of something or something doesn't go their way, they can become highly emotional. Okay. So they kind of get their hopes up a little bit, we could say. They get their hopes up. And if it doesn't pan out the way they want, we might have crying, or we might have, depending on the woman, we might have a little temper tantrum, or we might have some kind of frustration involved here. And men actually see this as women being very complicated. Because if a man does a task and it doesn't work, he will try to conserve his energy and not waste energy on something that he doesn't want to waste energy on. So maybe He might say, well, I'll try that another day, or I'll give it another go this way, or something like that. But he wouldn't usually attach emotions to it, unless, depending on how big the thing was, how big the project was, or how big the letdown was. So women are complicated because they are the opposite of simple, in the fact that they can join lots of topics and feelings together. Okay, this is what women do. They join topics and feelings together, which makes them quite complicated. So they might like a certain movie star character, which I was mentioning before, and that movie star character might, all of a sudden not be in that movie anymore. And then we might have some tears or some sadness or some frustration, or, I'm going to ring up the TV people and tell them off for, my favourite actor's not in the show anymore. You know what I mean? So the feelings together with the topic are joined. So how does this relate to men and women together? Well, let's do this as an example. So if a woman asked a man to put out the garbage, I'm going to try and draw a garbage bin. All right. Here's the garbage bin. She might say to the man, because she wants to tidy up and she is outcome based, can you please empty the bin before dinner time? Now, the man, being very simple, will say something like, yes, in the ad break, or as soon as I'm done with ... And because it's not a huge task on their list, it's not in any kind of real major hierarchy, they may forget to do it because it's not something that they feel is important. But for the woman, it may be very important, because when she's cooking dinner, let's say, not to stereotype that only women cook, but, if she's cooking dinner, she might want the bin to be empty so that she can put some scraps in there or something like that. So if the man didn't empty the bin, the woman is going to join that topic, right? The topic of the bin, and relate it to her feelings about it, right? So we have a topic, and because she's emotionally based, right, the woman is going to have feelings about whether if it's emptied or not. She might get pissed off, or she might get upset, or she might get frustrated, or she's going to have some kind of feeling about it. So that's for the woman. So I'll put a W next to that. W and W. Now for the man, this topic is unimportant because he's logical, and he's like, well, when I get around to it, when I get around to emptying the bin, which is the topic of the conversation, I'll get around to it. Logically speaking, it's not do or die if I empty it or not. So if he doesn't empty it because he either forgets, or he's, waiting for his show to finish, and she comes back in the room and says, Larry, you haven't emptied the bin, or Donkey, you haven't emptied the bin. He might go, well, yeah, I'm getting to it, because it's not a major topic on his list, and he's being logical about it, but she's attaching feelings to it and making it very complicated. Okay, he's making it simple, and she's making it complicated, because she has an outcome base with regards to the emptying of the bin, because she needs it for a purpose. So what she can do here is say to him, hey, Larry, or Donkey, whatever his name is, right? I really would need the bin emptied before I start cooking dinner at 5 o'clock, because, I needed to put the scraps in. And then he might see the logic in that and be more likely to do that. Okay, so this is where women and men have really different issues with regards to outcome. So a man is generally, not all men of course, but a man is generally kind of chilling out. Okay, so maybe in his work he has to be some kind of star and get all this stuff done, and he's got a deadlines and all of that, and so maybe at home he's kind of chilling out because he's generally simple and logical. He might spend time looking up things, topics of interest that he likes or something like that. And to the woman, that might be seen as being all kinds of crazy. He might be called lazy. He might be called not helpful. He might be called unromantic. He might be called, selfish. He might be called a myriad of different things by the woman because she just sees him as chilling out. But his chilling out might be that he's on his computer studying, aerodynamics or space stations or, something that he's got an interest in. His chilling out might be that he just loves that TV show or that video game and he needs to do that. So he can be called all kinds of names because he's doing these things that make him happy, which actually is staying in his joy. And women may see that as not meeting up with their outcomes. So in the course Understanding Men, I will be talking about how women can get men to be more romantic, get men to feel more secure in showing their feeling side. And I will be talking a lot about how men and women can connect on, for long-term relationships, not just, hookups or that type of thing. Because most women on my channel are not looking for a hookup. They're looking for a long-term relationship with a man that truly loves them. But unless you understand your man, stand by your man, understand your man. Give him 2 arms to cling to. Is that what it is? I don't know. That's a really old song. But I always feel like we need to do some singing. So what I want you to understand is that although women are more complicated and are more emotional, it doesn't make them bad or, any of those things. It actually makes them quite deep and quite beautiful. And when a man knows that he can also have his time to chill out, which actually helps them build testosterone, believe it or not. Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. Never thought I could feel so free. Flying away on a wing and a prayer. Who could it be? Believe it or not, it's just me. So some men might like to cook. Some men might like to play video games. Some men might like to go golfing. Some men might like to, play some kind of sport. Whatever they do to chill out is how they build up their testosterone. And it's really important that women understand this. So this is a beautiful video that I wanted to bring to you today, so that you could get a little sort of snippet about what I'm going to be talking about with Understanding Men. It's kind of understanding men and women because, you need to understand the flip side as well. I'll talk about the flip side as well. So as I go into men, I'll also talk about the whys and how women relate to that. I think it's really important for long-term relationships whether that's your twin flame or whether that's a soulmate. Because when you know what someone's motivations are in life, then you can be their biggest supporter. And the other important thing is that when you know what your own motivations are too, then you can, or if you know who you are, then you can also know whether or not you're willing to give yourself to another person in the context of what they need. So that was kind of complicated. I didn't mean to sound so complicated, but I am a woman after all, so I couldn't help myself. So the depth of a woman and the depth of a man goes well beyond just putting out the garbage. It goes well beyond just, you're sexy and I want to hook up with you. It also goes well beyond just, the ideals of the sexes where, the woman is chained to the sink cooking and the man is going out to work and bringing home the bacon, etc. So I want to defy the old paradigms and break into the new paradigms with this course. I feel like it's going to be a 6-module course. I'm pretty sure it's going to be 6 modules. So I'm just going to write that down so I remember. And that's what I'm going to be working on at the moment. Now, if you feel like your relationship with your twin flame or your soulmate needs some work, you can contact me and I can give you some counseling. You don't need to both be there. I can just, talk to you, whoever's watching today. Because I have such an in-depth knowledge of the twin flame journey and soulmates, as well as understanding men and women, I can tell you what needs to happen within your relationship if you've already formed one, or with a relationship that's up and coming or on its way to you. All right. So I would suggest that if you're interested in any of my courses or counseling, that you go down into this description box and choose what you think you need, or you can email me. My email is also down below, and you can let me know what you need. Okay. I also do twin flame soulmate readings, and also just general life path readings. If you just don't know where you're headed and you feel like, I don't know, you need some guidance on, work or family or, just general anything, you can contact me as well. And you can also give out a gift to a friend or a loved one as well if you want to get a reading with me. The last point I want to tell you is that I am a psychic medium. I use all my cards pretty much for entertainment purposes. I already know the answer that's going to come through, but it's kind of fun, holding up the cards, because, I don't know, there's always a story in the cards, and, being a channel, it's quite fun. I kind of like to do it that way. So we have to get donkey kisses before we go. And he wants to sing you a little song, but it'll be in my voice, but he's going to dance for you. Okay, ready? Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? Now that I've been loving you so long. Tell me, how am I supposed to live without you? And how am I supposed to carry on without you? When all that I've been living for is gone. Okay, yeehaw. I feel like he needs a cowboy to ride him, he's all excited today. So I'll be back really soon. My throat chakra is kind of playing up, which means the divine masculine must have a lot to say to all of you beautiful divine feminines at the moment. Many of you I know are not hearing from your masculines. And those of you who are, there's been some karmic stuff going on. Either you've had some issues or they've had some issues. I don't want to mention that Mercury's in Gatorade at the moment, but it is. That's what I like to say. It's in Gatorade. It's been having too many power drinks at the moment. Don't drink them, by the way. They're really bad for you. Please, please, please don't drink any of that stuff. There's a few, I think there's some other planets also in Gatorade at the moment. No offense to Gatorade, but don't drink it, it's bad for your health. What else do I want to say before I go? So yeah, if you need me, reach out to me. I am booking up fairly fast at the moment with readings and counseling sessions and things. So, get to me as soon as you can. If you do want to book a reading with me, make sure you send in your email to me your 8 questions and a photograph of you and your counterpart, or your, proposed counterpart, your beloved, so that I can see if you are a match in the twin flame sense, or in the soulmate sense, okay? Because I can actually tell you whether you're a match or not, if you want to know if it's your twin flame. Okay, so have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening or morning, wherever you are. Of course, we're going to sing Joyful, Joyful before we go, because I love that song and I still haven't learned the words. Ready? Okay. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before you. Do, Son of God. I think that's a bit. Come and join the chorus, the mighty, mighty chorus. Donkey is here to stay. Joyful, joyful, Lord, we adore you. God of glory, God of light. Hearts unfold like flowers before you. By the way, what have you done for him lately? Ooh, yeah. Geez, getting good at dancing. What have you done for him lately? Ooh, yeah. Okay, so I love you all so much. Me and Donkey are sending you donkey kisses. Ready? You can see what he ate for breakfast. Mwah. Can we make it go down? Let's see. Mwah. Mwah. Lots of kisses from Donkey. Mwah. Ooh, that's a slow one. That's a real passionate one. Mwah. Okay, stay in your joy. No matter what you do, stay in your joy. Don't stalk anyone by that name. And I'll see you real soon for a divine masculine check-in. We're going to check up on him, see if he's got any secrets and things. Of course, we like to do that. I think Donkey may have had some Gatorade earlier. He's gone crazy. Stop it. Okay, woo. Okay, he's getting dizzy. We love you very much. Have a beautiful day, night, afternoon, evening, or morning. Whoa, wherever you are in the world. And I'll see you real soon. Bye, everyone. Bye.